Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So this video here is a review and demonstration on the new ANI HPS Compact in 1.8. So this gun here previously was only available up to 1.4. So now they've released it with a primer gun setup on it with the 1.8 air cap and fluid tip. But this kit here does obviously come with the 1.3 setup in the kit as well. Now it comes with the two spray gun pots as well. Now inside that large pot that you see there is actually a smaller pot, if you're wondering. So yeah, it's a good bit of value added there, and it obviously comes with that air regulator as well, a gun spanner, and a few little cleaning tools too. So obviously handy to have that case. And if you're wondering, this kit here, Australian dollars, it's about $315. That's before any shipping and taxes that you may pay for, say, import or something. So it's definitely not going to break the bank. For $300. That's a lot of bang for your buck. You're gonna get yourself a primer gun and a color gun. But just quickly before we go into the booth, this is one that I've been highly anticipating. This is the ANI Tronic. I've recently just received one of these, and two of them, base coat and clear coat guns. So I'll be putting them through their paces in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be doing a review on that. But yes, definitely highly anticipated spray gun, that Tronic, and I've been enjoying using them. I'm a massive fan of anything ANI. I just love the value for money, but also the performance. Like, so ever since I first got my first ANI, I believe that the first ANI I got was the R150, which was the old version of the compact. So this compact here is modeled off the R150. I believe it was actually, this is Chris's brainchild from Spray Guns Direct. He got involved in it, and he saw all the potential in the R150. He saw that people loved it, and he said, look, I reckon we could do a little bit more with that. So he obviously made these kits that you saw at the start. But just keep in mind that you don't have to get that kit. You can get the gun just by itself if you want to save a couple of bucks. Let's just say you've already got yourself a couple of regulators. You don't need that. You don't need the extra tip. You might already have it, say, in the 1.3, and you're just like, wow, I love that gun so much. I want to get it in a primer gun setup because I do work from home. I do have a smaller compressor, so I don't want one of those air pigs, like a larger spray gun, but I still want a primer gun that's capable of pounding that primer on. Now this job here, whilst the repairs aren't the best, they're not necessarily terrible. I did need to hound that primer on, right? So if the gun was not capable of getting a nice heavy, so thick primer, I have not given this gun any sort of, freebies by thinning the primer down or anything. I needed it to perform the way I needed it to perform. So if it didn't, I would obviously let you guys know. But yeah, so a thick primer, obviously just a white primer. So this is LVP 201 mixed up metal sanding mode. And yeah, it's definitely capable of pounding that primer on. It's not quite as fast as the ANI 1.9, which is my general primer gun. And to be completely honest, side by side, I'll generally be going for the ANI F160 1.9. That's generally still going to be my main primer gun. But this is definitely a good option for those of you working at home for smaller primer sections. Myself, a lot of the work that we do here, we do full resprays. So with those patrols, we've got a full car that needs, 3 different primers on it. So you hit it with the edge primer, then you've got a primer surfacer, and then you've got a second shaded primer surfacer. I'm not going to be using this gun for that purpose. So look, every tool has its purpose, but yeah, this thing is more suited for smaller primer repairs like this, people with small compressors spraying from home and that kind of thing. So let's run through some technical specs. So I'm reading this straight off the website. This gun is available in the 0.8, the 1.0, the 1.2, the 1.3, the 1.4, and the 1.8. Made in Italy, top quality spray gun components. And it can run off a 24 litre compressor, and it requires less than 4.45 CFM, which is 135 litres per minute. But as I always say to people that ask me about compressors, I say get the biggest that you can justify and the biggest that you can sort of afford or fit at home, because you do have voltage and wattage things to think about. Like you can't go and run the large compressors like you may be able to run at a workshop. with 3-phase power and all of the rest. So there's a nice look at the spray gun after doing some prime ups. They're a nice looking gun, but look, no sort of bells and whistles. It's just a tool that does the job. If you want something that'll just do that job that you need. So look, I'm the kind of guy that is pretty handy around the house, and I never mind buying tools. The way I see it, if I'm gonna buy a tool and do the job myself, I basically look at it as if I got the tool for free. And that's the way I'd probably look at it, like this, you know, hey, if you give it a shot yourself, and here we are spraying at home, if you give it a shot doing it yourself, you're going to gain some knowledge. Even if you sort of mess the job up and it's not exactly perfect, you're going to learn from your mistakes, aren't you? So yeah, guys, just remember what I said at the start. You don't need to get this one in the kit. You can get it by itself, and it's less than 200 Aussie dollars. Like, that is a cheap spray gun, right? But if you did want to get it in the kit, you get that extra value. You get the case, you get the air regulator, you get those couple of gun tools, you get the cleaning things, and it's only 300 bucks, right? So it's not like you're throwing your money away to get that one in the kit. And yeah, definitely opens it up. But look, myself personally, I have quite a few of these ANI compacts. The one that I use the most is the 1.0. Now, I can tell you why that is, because usually when I want to do a primer job, I'm going to be going for the F160 1.9. That absolutely hounds it on. I'm using it at work. Air is not an issue, so I've got as much air as I want, right? And then also when I got the 1.3, so when I want to do base coat, clear coat, it's not going to be my first go-to spray gun, right? It's just, I'm going to be using, say, my Pro Lights, my DV1s, my SATAs, whatever they may be, the iWatters, but it's not going to be the 1.3 compact. But when I will use it is when I'm doing little spot repairs or a wheel or something like that. So that's with the 1.0 mil. So that's another one that's definitely worth keeping in mind. Again, not to sort of throw shade on the 1.8 or the 1.3. I'm just saying, as somebody with all the options and none of the restrictions of small compressors, right? Even the one that I've got at home, I've got the Hush 100. So I've done a review on that. People do sort of periodically come back to that video and ask questions about it. The Hush 100 has been amazing for me. It's really quiet for home use, so you don't have you don't have neighbors complaining about it. Even the family members, even me, like, I don't like a noisy compressor, right? They're amazing. Like, they're 3 1.1 horsepower silent electric motors on that compressor. You can turn them on individually as well if you like. I have had actually one issue when I moved to this place here that you see. So obviously spraying at home, primer on this Jeep bonnet for my friend Alex. Yeah, what happened when I moved to this house is, ever since I've moved here, it doesn't shut off. So I might have bumped something, it might have rolled around in the moving truck or something like that. But yeah, the shut-off valve is not working correctly, so I just flick it off at the power point. The valve will sort of just start, like it'll let off all the air. But it's not automatically shutting the compressor off once it gets to that sort of high pressure. But there you go, this video nearly turned into a compressor review. But look, hopefully you guys got some useful information out of it. And look, we do like to follow up on our reviews over the years here on this channel. But yes, look, I'm a very busy man these days. I do enjoy still making these videos, and I would like to say a massively big thanks to Spray Guns Direct for sending out these spray guns for the purpose of review. I still do get a big kick out of making a video, still enjoy all the engagement from you guys, and yeah, be sure to let us know what you think in the comments down below. Yeah, I'll do my best to be a little bit more regular, and yeah, there you go, guys. Isn't that a wicked... Look at how well that performs, right? So to be fair on that bonnet, I was using it more as a primer surfacer more than a primer filler. Now, actually, I did use it to fill some repairs, but I left the primer thick on those repair sections, and I did add that little bit of thinness when I wanted to go over the entire bonnet for more of a primer surfacer. So yeah, really, it performed really well. I'm really impressed with it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. If you want one of these spray guns, be sure to check out the link in the description, spraygunsdirect.co.uk, and then you can just search for ANI Compact. Until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.